Hi, welcome to my first video from my actual office on the third floor at Central Business Park. If you happen to be around, feel free to stop by and say hi. I'm excited about being able to do one of these from my actual office. So this video is to introduce you to a new process that we have started with mental health case management and also PACT. You'll see this roll out to other programs. So even if you're not in those two programs, this could be very beneficial for you to watch still. Okay, so what's the big deal? You'll notice that I have Tina testing on my screen. Remember, she is a pretend practice client chart. No real client information will ever be shared on these little how-to videos that I do. Okay. But the awesome thing is that she has a problem, goal, objective, and intervention on our plan already as soon as I open it up. Okay. The reason that we're doing this is because we are intervening in the discharge process. We need to make sure that we are starting our discharge planning from the day they get admitted into a program. That might seem a little bit counterintuitive, but we always want to be working our consumers towards the goal of not needing us anymore. We kind of want to work ourselves out of a job with some of these clients because we want them to not always need this high a level of care. Okay. So what we've done is to make sure that no one can accidentally forget to do a discharge, problem, goal, objective, intervention, and that includes quarterly reviews. We've built it directly into the plan as soon as you open it. So it's pretty cool. Let me show you how it works. Okay. So what I do is I know that even though it's already on my plan, I've got my little line here where the problem is, I need to personalize it. So I'm going to double click on it. And then it will open up to this screen that's familiar to you if you've added a problem with the green plus, the method that we normally use. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put Tina's name into the blank. Please don't leave the blank line there. Another little shortcut is if you highlight your client's name and do Control-C, you can copy it to your clipboard and paste it down below anywhere where there's a blank line where you need to put your client's name. Okay. So this is where I need to personalize this. So the problem is Tina has difficulty with managing their mental health, physical health, substance use, and accessing community resources to improve their stability in the community. This is your opportunity to modify pronouns if you want to. If Tina does not have a substance use issue, this is where I need to backspace this and make sure that it's personalized to her. Okay, so just so you know, continue to personalize just like you've always been instructed to do. This just kind of builds in the problem, goal, and objective intervention instead of having to do the pluses all the way down for this particular one. Okay, so I'm going to hit save. And one thing that you'll notice is people will say a lot of times, oh, I don't see the change, right? If I hit save on my plan and open it back up, I will see that change immediately in the problem box. And I can always double click on it, pull it right back up, and I can see my change there too. Okay, so I'm going to hit save, right? I'm going to scroll down a little bit to the goal. I'm going to do the same exact thing. Double click on the goal. And I'm going to do Control V is your paste shortcut. So see how it pasted Tina's name right in? Her overall life goal or treatment goal is blank. And then you could use quotes here if you want. It also ties back to the initial or annual assessment. This is what we call the clinical golden thread. We always want to try to tie our plans back to the original reason why they came in for treatment. That's why in parentheses it says here, utilize information from the initial or annual assessment. Now, this is a note to you, okay? I can erase that if I want to. Okay, so what it's basically indicating that I need to reference the initial or annual assessment and then indicate that there. So this is a good opportunity to use quotes if you have it. Clearly, I am making up a quote here because this is just a practice client, but you get the gist of it. Okay, so you definitely want to personalize that. Okay, so the provider name will pull in as you. It's already set to 364 days, so it will begin the clock ticking down from the date that the admission date, and your target date is going to be a year minus 1 day. So we're still going to have to update this annually, but at least when you enroll somebody, this is one less thing that you're going to have to hit the plus and then do it all the way down. Okay, so I'm going to save. Okay, we would do the same thing with objectives. Again, where the blank line is, I can do Control V, paste Tina's name. Remember, in my imaginary scenario, she did not have substance use issues, so I need to address that and ensure that I am personalizing that to make sense for her. Tina will show improvement towards mental health, physical health, and accessing community resources with minimal assistance from the case manager over the next year. Okay, and then I'm going to save. Okay, and then I wanted to go over the intervention with you specifically because, and I'm going to do the same thing, Control V, Tina's name, my space there. Case manager will review Tina's progress or lack thereof towards treatment goals at least one time per quarter and modify ISP as needed to continue to work towards the goal of discharge. Okay. This modify ISP as needed, you're also going to see on the quarterly. We're modifying that language as well. The main thing to remember here is that your treatment plan is a living document. If there's an objective that they meet, then we need to stop that objective, mark that as expired, and on our quarterly, we're going to say that they've completed that objective, even if it's not at that year mark. Okay, so we need to be modifying the plan while they're in treatment and not just waiting towards the annual to update the plan. Okay, we want to be that living document. We want it to move with the client. As their circumstances change, their plan needs to change in reflection of that. So this intervention is specifically, the language is very important because we need to not just do the quarterly, but we need to modify the treatment plan as needed and indicate when they have met an objective and they've completed it, and add new objectives as their needs change. Also too, it just speaks towards sometimes an objective is too difficult. Okay, so maybe my client doesn't take their medication 7 out of 7 days. Maybe that's too lofty of a goal. Maybe we need to start with 3 days. So again, you're assessing whether or not those objectives are reachable, whether they make sense for the person. Okay. If you have any questions about any of this, you can speak to me, you can speak to your supervisor, and Michelle Davis in compliance is also amazing with this stuff. And we will make sure that you understand and have answers to any questions that you have. Okay, so one other thing about the intervention, I cannot default these 2 boxes here, methodology and frequency. So methodology is in what way are you going to do this? We know that we're in the middle of a pandemic and we need to be creative with kind of how we reach out to clients, especially lately. So I'm going to put face-to-face phone call and or collateral, but you pick the one that makes the most sense. Frequency, we've already said in the description that we need to do this at least quarterly. So I'm going to select treatment plan quarterly But again, whenever you're selecting interventions, you're going to do what makes the most sense. And then I'm going to hit save. Okay. So now let me hit save. Okay, and I'm going to open my plan back up. Remember, that's Tina testing. That's why she's got so many programs. But then I can see all of my edits, and I can still come back and make changes if I need to, if there's something that I don't like. This is when I would go, still going to go back, go to my problems, click the green plus, and then add in additional information. The reason why we can't default everything is because we can only default things in the plan that would apply to every client in a program. So not every mental health client in case management has housing issues. So that's not one we could default. Okay. But if you have other ideas or questions about how we can make your treatment plan go a little bit faster and easier for you, please let me know, and I would be super glad to work with you on it. Okay. I hope this has been helpful for you. Again, please reach out if you have any questions, and I hope that you have a fantastic day. Thank you.